They tell you to just be honest with her, communicate your feelings, let her know what you want. But let me ask you something, has that ever actually worked? The more open you are, the more distant she becomes. The more loyal you stay, the more she pulls away. You think you're showing strength, but she reads it as desperation. And before you even realize it, you're stuck in a cycle of over-explaining yourself to someone where the rules were never explained. And that's exactly why she could control you. Of man she can't control, the kind she obsesses over, respects, and fears losing. You think manipulation starts with her, but it doesn't. It starts with you. It starts the moment you believe her emotions are more important than your principles. The moment you soften your edges just to keep her happy. You call it compromise, maturity, empathy. But she doesn't see it that way. She sees hesitation, weakness, and worst of all, need. There's a core truth that most men never learn. You train a woman how to treat you from the first moment. You interact with her, not by what you say, but by what you tolerate. She cancels on you last minute, and you still text her, no worries. You just told her she's allowed to disrespect your time. She flirts with other guys in front of you, and you laugh it off like it's nothing. You just showed her you're too scared to walk away. Every little moment where you let it slide becomes a silent contract. She leads, you follow. The deeper cut, she doesn't even respect herself when she realizes she can control you. A woman will push your boundaries just to see if they exist. Not because she's evil, not because she's trying to ruin you, but because your frame is the only thing anchoring hers. When you don't have one, she drifts. And when she drifts, she spirals. Think of it like this. Confidence isn't just about how you walk or talk. It's about how quickly you're willing to walk away when someone violates your code. A high-value man doesn't announce his standards. He enforces them calmly, ruthlessly, and without explanation. Not because he's cold, but because his life is already full. He doesn't need her to approve, agree, or understand. He just needs her to feel the absence of his energy when she crosses the line. You need to stop asking, how do I keep her interested? And start asking, what version of me would she never dare lose? That shift alone pulls you out of her web. It forces you to build an identity beyond attraction, beyond validation, beyond her moods. And when you become that man, you don't chase love, you filter it. Because the truth is, she can't manipulate a man who knows exactly who he is, exactly what he wants, and exactly what he's willing to walk away from. Asterisk. She tests you, always. That's not a fluid part of her wiring. She asks vague questions just to see if you break character. She baits you with silence, with jealousy, with emotional chaos, not because she's consciously scheming, but because part of her craves one thing above all else: security. Not the soft kind where you always agree with her and tell her she's beautiful every 10 minutes. No, the raw, unshakable security that comes from knowing you don't flinch. Imagine this. You're at dinner. The vibe is perfect. She's laughing, touching your arm. Then she casually drops a name, some guy from her office, says he's just a friend, and she watches. Not with her words, but with her eyes. She's reading you. Most men either pretend they don't care or go full insecure mode. Who is he? You talk to him a lot. And just like that, they lose their grip. But you lean back, calm. Maybe you smirk. Maybe you say, interesting, and change the subject. Not because you're afraid of confrontation, but because you don't react, you observe. You never play defense. You never get baited into emotional checkmate. And now she's off balance because she expected you to flinch, and you didn't. That's the moment she feels ithogravity. The realization that you're not like other guys. You're not controlled by fear of losing her. You're not desperate for reassurance. You're not driven by emotional scarcity. You're the prize, and she either aligns with your world or she exits it. Simple, cold, magnetic. Most women don't consciously want to manipulate men, but when they sense weakness, they test. When they test, they push. And when there are no consequences for those pushes, their attraction dies. It's not fair, it's not pretty, but it's real. The man she can't manipulate is the one who doesn't make his decisions based on how she might feel in the next 5 minutes. He lives in a longer frame. He plays for his name, his peace, and his mission. So here's the challenge. Stop performing for her. Stop editing yourself just to seem more understanding. Stop trying to be the boyfriend she imagines in some romantic fantasy novel. Be the man whose life is so rich, so focused, so disciplined, that manipulation isn't even a joke. Because when she realizes she can't move you with guilt, games, or drama, that's when she starts respecting you. And respect is the foundation of real desire. Without it, all you'll ever be is a puppet in a pretty girl's hands. Asterisk. You ever wonder why the guys who care the least seem to get chased the most? Why the ones who don't respond fast, don't apologize constantly, don't rearrange their schedules for every mood swing, are the ones women seem to obsess over? It's not because they're mean. It's not because they're alpha cliches. It's because they've detached their sense of worth from a woman's attention. That's the death move. When you start seeing her smile, her texts, her praise as a measurement of your value, she's already got you on the hook. She doesn't have to manipulate you. Consciously, you're already bending for her approval. She becomes the mirror you use to define yourself. And the second you do that, you've lost her and yourself. A woman can only manipulate you if you don't have a self-governing system. If you're relying on her to tell you whether you're good enough today, if you need her to tell you you're strong, desirable, stable, but here's the twist. The moment you don't need that, the moment you walk in knowing who the F***kur she is drawn in. Not because you're doing anything special, but because you've stopped asking. Women feel this difference viscerally. It's in your posture, your eye contact, the way you speak without rushing, the way you don't over-explain your decisions, the way you say no, not out of cruelty, but because it's a full sentence. She'll try to provoke emotion, just to see if she still has influence. She'll bring up exes. She'll pull away when things feel good. She might even punish your silence with colder silence. But when you refuse to chase clarity, you force her to You signal that your peace is non-negotiable, that her drama doesn't move you. And when she realizes that you only engage on your terms, the dynamic flips. Suddenly, she's calibrating to you. She's thinking before she speaks. She's working to earn a seat at your table, and if she doesn't, you walk. No tantrum, no explanation, just space. That's power, that's control. Not because you're trying to dominate Herb, because you refuse to let anyone dominate you, emotionally or otherwise. So if you want to become the man she can't manipulate, don't try to outplay her. Don't fight fire with fire. Just take the matchbook out of her hand by making sure your validation comes from within. Because once a man no longer fears rejection, he's untouchable.